Hello, and welcome into my little corner of the universe. My name's Brian. About 6 months ago, I realized that the future I had been hoping for was increasingly unlikely, and I was quite unprepared for some of the challenges that appeared to be coming on the horizon. Rather than worrying about it, I decided to do something about it, and I started doing a lot of research. It became clear at that point that my enthusiasm for this particular rabbit hole pretty far outstripped the interest level of my wife, and I don't really have anybody around me that is interested in this sort of thing to talk to about it, so I thought it would be a good outlet for me and hopefully entertaining and somewhat informative for you if I talk about it here. Now, rather than go into a long monologue recounting my life, I thought I would introduce myself to you via my EDC. In subsequent videos, we'll go through my STC, which is my sometimes carry bag, my go bag, my car bag, and my get home bag, and that will establish a baseline for where I'm starting off. As we go through these various kits, you'll notice that the majority of my gear is from the budget tier. And that's by necessity because I had so many gaps to fill and a reasonably tight budget, not a whole lot of excess cash to do it. So I had to really hunt the best bang for buck options that I could find and really squeeze them into a budget. That said, that gives us a lot of headroom to improve my gear, and I think that's going to be a fun process. Hopefully in the comments, I can rely on you to give me your suggestions for alternatives, upgrades for these pieces of gear that you think makes sense from a cost effectiveness standpoint. And over the course of time, I will acquire those pieces of gear and test them out and see if they are something that I want to carry. And every 6 months, we'll go through what I'm currently carrying, talk about alternatives at various price points, and hopefully provide a roadmap for people who are following behind or who are on this journey right now to really maximize their dollars and arrive at the most capable and resilient kit they can afford. So, without further ado, let's get into my EDC. We will move over to the table. The first piece of my kit, and I feel like everybody should carry every day, is the big lighter. That is cheap, light, small, makes fire, will hold duct tape, opens a bottle, and really hard to imagine a better use of 250. For the longest time, I did not carry a light. I just used one on my phone, and that was sufficient. However, they are slow to deploy and a bit unwieldy when you're trying to use them and do stuff. So, after watching some videos, I bought into the hype and picked up a Woobin G5. This was $24, I want to say, and definitely worth every penny. We've got a nice deep retention clip that rotates all the way around and is pretty sturdy when locked into place. Also rotating face so you can get light anywhere you need it. IP68 waterproof, weighs less than 2 grams, USB-C rechargeable, and it will lock so you won't burn the battery in your pocket. Magnetic base, it works very well, and it feels really solid, nice satisfying clicks through this, sort of like an optic mount, sort of, and I just love this little guy. One press gets you a good amount of light, even in the day, you can tell that's pretty bright. Long press will get you into RGB mode, which is great for around the camp or whatever, anytime you're trying to preserve your night vision. Back to red there. And then long press to get back. double press to get into turbo mode, which is exceedingly bright, but not gentle on your battery, so I don't advise hanging out in turbo mode. All in all, I am extremely happy with this light. I cannot imagine a reason to replace it unless it simply stops working. The AIWB G5. Alright, so this is a bit strange for a lot of you probably, but I do not carry a pocket knife. About 3 months ago, I received this Karambit neck knife from Smith & Wesson as a bonus item from PSA in an order, and after about a month I realized that the pocket knife that I was carrying was just dead weight. I use this for pretty much everything. The blade profile is great for opening things, which is 90% of what I do with a knife. You can use this little notch here to get really nice deft cuts to avoid damaging anything inside of a package, and I've used it on cardboard, thick plastic, packing tape that's all bunched up and nasty, and aside from a little residue on the blade, it has handled all comers. It's not the nicest blade, for sure. It's not very sharp. However, with the blade profile, it does everything that I need it to. So at the price point of $3.99, kind of hard to beat. I can't imagine upgrading this eventually with something with a little nicer steel. However, the basic functionality of what I want out of a knife in an everyday carry is right here. Plus, I took a little C-Lot as a kid, so I know some ways to use this little guy. Next up is my keychain, which is suspended from this cheap Temu belt clip. I paid $2.50 for it, and though it is not the nicest plastic in the world, got these fake screws here, really nice touch. It does have a metal clip. This plastic is thick and it's not flexible or anything. As you can see, there's not really any give to it at all. You could break it, but why would you? The cable here is steel with a steel collar on the retractor bit, so that's the important bit, though a magnet in here would have gone a long way to increase the retention, but it doesn't go anywhere, really. Hanging from the clip, we've got my key fob for my Holster turbo, if you're interested. Bolt, 13 points, built to last. Can't go wrong with that. We've got a Sharpie here. That is the superior writing implement. This thing pops right off of here, so it's replaceable. These are super cheap and, right on everything, water resistant, and just generally don't have anything but good to say about that. My Multitool, which is connected by this rather annoying carabiner at the moment, will be replaced with something that I'm hoping to open in a future video. Is the next tool Flagship Mini. Carry it obviously because pliers and full-size scissors. The pliers are a little dinky, but I've used them to turn some pretty obnoxious, really small nuts and bolts, and they definitely work. So while they don't really grab onto everything so well, they will definitely get the job done with these little teeth in here. Scissors are great. They have a lot of cutting potential through plastic and paper and cardboard, whatever, and they work really well. So pretty happy with this guy. It's rounded out with a pretty nice knife. Got a nice complement to the Karambit. It's thick, it's very sharp, much sharper than the Karambit, and generally no notes there. Other side here is the ubiquitous can opener / bottle opener. That is what it is. I would have preferred a bit kit, but this thing's pretty small, not a lot of real estate left, I suppose. On the other side here, you've got a Phillips head screwdriver, thin, but definitely works. I've used it quite a lot.
and the other side is a flathead with files on either side. So that rounds out the multi-tool. It is $30, and I think that that is money very well spent. Alright, so the next item you've probably noticed a few times in the video already is my watch. I used to run a Samsung Galaxy smartwatch that was getting a little long in the tooth, and battery was going. I was pretty over the digital watch face, so I was looking around for something with a mechanical face and that was solar powered, and I found the G-Shock 2100 GAB CT. This thing's waterproof down to 200 meters. It's got world time, stopwatch, alarms, Bluetooth connects to my phone, so we've got a Find My Phone feature, which is very useful and uses the phone to maintain perfect time. I was initially kind of nervous about this band. I thought it might be uncomfortable when wet, but no, it doesn't chafe at all, and I think half because the watch is so light. It's 57 grams, so it doesn't chafe at all on the wrist and is comfortable even when wet. The band has these metal grommets that I think will give it a long life, and metal hardware on the other end. My only issue with this watch in total is these retention clips are very loose, even with the other band through it, and they slide around a lot. So I'll probably look for something to wrap around them or something to do to keep them a little more solidly in place. I'm also considering swapping the hour markers for something that glow in the dark, but otherwise look exactly the same. However, I'm a little dubious about getting into a watch. I've never done that before. I know they are pretty complex, so please let me know in the comments if you've done that, if it is a challenging endeavor. I mean, I'm pretty handy, so I think I can probably do it. Next up, we will talk about my belt. This is a low-profile EDC belt from Blue Alpha outside of Atlanta, and it's great. It was $32. Flexy here at the bend point, stiff everywhere else, so no matter what you want to carry where, you can do it. It's very comfortable. The lack of a buckle makes it extremely convenient to move around, to position whatever you need, and this thing's great. I can't recommend it enough. If you do decide to purchase one, which I highly recommend, get your size. Don't worry about adding room for the holster. The rather thin strip of Velcro here could be a challenge if you go too big, so definitely order the same size that your normal belt or pants would be. And on that belt, I keep the one piece of gear that I did spend some money on. This is my 365 Legion from Sig Sauer. This is also the one piece of gear you see here that I do not carry regularly. I'm pretty new to firearms, and I don't believe that the 800 rounds I have through this really give me the qualification to carry this around other people. So we're still working on that, doing a bunch of dry fire and going to the range weekly and hoping to get there pretty soon. My first pistol was a VP9A1F that I purchased about 4 months ago, and though I absolutely love it, it is amazing. It's a little bigger than I want to carry, so I bit the bullet and went out shopping for a compact pistol that would last me just as long as the VP9, and after shooting about 25 or 30 9mm, I kept coming back to this. I love the weight of it. I love the way it fits my hands. I've got kind of big palms and stubby fingers, and this thing just fits me perfectly. I love all the texture around the grip, and the grips themselves are fantastic. Shoots super flat. I'm sure the metal frame probably a little more important to that than the comp, but they work together really well. I love the sights. When I raise this pistol, it is pointing at what I'm looking at every single time, and I just love it. I am unlikely to ever upgrade past this pistol, but I probably will upgrade the pistol itself. The trigger is mushy, extremely mushy, and spring kit and everything could probably use a little work. I removed the mag well to reduce printing and have ordered a 12-round magazine with a flush fit extension from Inception. That will be here next week, and I'm pretty excited to do that with you here on the channel. All in all, I am extremely happy with this pistol, and though I could definitely have gotten something very good for half of its $1,200 price point, I feel like I will have it forever, and I do not regret my purchase in the least. I am training with that in this AIWB holster from CYA. It's very light, has full adjustable ride height and cant, adjustable claw here. That works very well. This was $65 with the double underhook retention clip, claw, everything you see here except for the pad, which is obviously a Vetter. Another $15 to add a little comfort and reduce the printing. So all in, I'm into this thing, 80 bucks, and I am very happy with it. I see no reason to hunt for something different. Optics cut is perfect, and retention's great. Nice smooth draw. Couldn't be happier. These guys are a veteran-owned company out of San Antonio, and I highly recommend that you give them a look. After removing the knife from my pocket, I am considering adding a boo-boo kit. I'm thinking about using the case from this set of clamps that I got for my gardening project, and popping some Band-Aids, headache medicine, allergy meds, triple antibiotic ointment, that sort of thing in there. So I'll probably do that and let you know how that goes.
So that's my EDC. I hope that you get into the comments, give me some feedback, what you think I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what opportunities I have to improve this thing without breaking the bank. I hope you'll also give me some feedback on the video. I know that that is the best way I can improve, so I'll be really looking forward to seeing what y'all think. I really appreciate you coming by and sticking around for this long, and I hope that you will come back in future videos where we will talk about some of the preps that I've done around the house, cracky garden that started in my closet here and recently moved out to behind the shed. I've got a rain barrel that we will install together, and I have a solar panel and solar generator that I've used in various ways around the house, and we'll talk about some of the choices that we've made on our preps and some of the trials and tribulations that we've had and continue to have in the installation and execution. And we'll look for advice from you, what we can do better, make it more efficient, and add resilience and capability to our property. So again, thank you very much for coming by. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and be well.